and today I'm talking about one of my favorite topics, manifesting. I'm giving you 5 overarching keys to take your manifesting to the next level, and I want you to listen carefully. Finish all the way to the end of this video. If you haven't subscribed, then you will subscribe if you finish to the end of this video. I'm giving you 5 keys that are so important to your manifesting. I don't care where you are in the process of manifesting. If you're at the beginning, then you can step in with these principles. If you're somewhere in the middle, then you can improve the level at which you're able to manifest by really internalizing these principles, okay? So let's dig in. Principle number 1, you gotta live in abundance. It has to become your frequency. And what does that mean when I say live in abundance? That means you gotta be able to encapsulate or to embed within you all of the frequencies that are of abundance. You got to have gratitude. You have to have a positive mindset. You have to be living in a higher vibrational frequency. You gotta guard your energy the way you would guard your child's life. Meaning you have to become so serious and focused about your level of consciousness and mindfulness in the moment that you can't afford to let anything jeopardize your frequency. You can't afford to have low energy people around you complaining and itching and moaning. I didn't say be, but itching and moaning. You've got to manage your energy like you've never managed anything else before in your life, okay? Number 2 is about you recognizing that you live in a magical universe, right? You live in a magical universe, which means what? Who else is living in a magical universe except what? Magicians. You are a magician. You transmute energy. You alchemize. Where do you think the principles of alchemy came from? How did they transform base metals into these wonderful, into gold? How do we transform the carnal desires and all of this stuff of the flesh into something ethereal? You are a magician, so you have to see your manifesting as casting a spell, okay? Number 2 is about casting your spell from the ethers and knowing that you dominate and you subjugate your space-time reality. If you can't dominate and subjugate your space-time reality, you're going to have difficulty manifesting, or you'll be able to manifest, but you won't be able to do it at a level where it starts to accelerate. As I master these principles, my manifesting abilities are accelerating. I really am the magician. Now, I had the magician on my vision board for a long time, but I was manifesting outside of myself. Now I am becoming the manifestation. I am becoming the magician, and that's what this is about. I'm giving you the secret because I want you to recognize that this is like art. This is fun, right? This is freaking time travel. Okay, so for all of you people out there that love sci-fi and excitement, imagine that you get to time travel and you get to go into the ethers and you get to cast your spell and dominate this space-time reality. Okay, so when you're visioneering, when you're in your fantasizing space, okay, when you are imagineering or imagination, don't make it a haphazard pastime that you do at the end of the week when you're tired and because somebody told you to visualize, you lay on the bed and act like it's a task. No, no, no. It's time out for all of that. You need full-time emotional commitment and energy. Okay? You pull out your wand or your wand and you cast your spell on this creation around you that you get to dominate. So when you go in and you do your work, baby, you go in and you do your work and you assume the position. You assume the position of being a manifester, a magician, because what? You live in a magical university. And what? Who are you? You are a magician. So cast your spell. Stop playing around. Stop taking this like it's some little fun little walk in the park that you can take 30 and 40 years to do. Start working on what it is that I'm telling you. It's so serious. Principle number 3, the third thing that you need to internalize in order to become a manifesting magician is you need to approach your manifestations with specificity. Specificity, not just from your mouth or from your hand in terms of writing it down. You need to fully be in what it is you're trying to manifest. You need to be specific. If it's money, state the amount. Stop being afraid to ask for stuff. You've been programmed to not be afraid to ask for anything. And then when you start manifesting, you haphazardly do it because deep within you don't really believe it. Start being specific. If it's an extra $800 you need at the end of the week, ask for extra $800 at the end of the week. It's not your job, baby, to figure out how it's going to get here. Magicians don't sit around and try to figure out how stuff is going to happen. They cast the wand and they expect it to be. They command it into existence, okay? So you got to have faith. Specificity means that you feel it, you plan it, you visualize the specificity of it. If you're trying to manifest a car, what's the color of it? What's the brand of it? How many miles did it have on it if it was pre-owned? What do the tires look like? Where are you going to park this car? How much is it going to cost you every month? If you use a Excel spreadsheet, get the spreadsheet out and add the car into the spreadsheet. How much the car is going to cost you every month. Start planning for this. It's just that serious, okay? Number 4, the fourth thing that you have to do is you must dominate your space-time reality. Now, I referred to this a little bit earlier on the back end of casting a spell, but you have to understand that your thoughts affect what you say, and what you say has power. And the word, right? A man is not only as he thinketh, a man is how he what? How he speaketh. All right, so abracadabra, you're a magician. You need to be walking around all day long saying abracadabra. Do you know what abracadabra means? It goes back to ancient civilizations. They're saying possibly even before the Hebrews and Sumerians, okay? They're not exactly sure, but abracadabra means I create with my words, or the world is created, or whatever it is you're trying to create comes about as a result of the word. Now, we've associated magic, magicians, and abracadabra because of our religious indoctrination and all of this other man-made crap that has actually separated you from God and separated you from your divine nature. We have actually attributed to that to some type of sorcery or something we need to be afraid of. We even overlook the divine texts and what they tell us about your power as God within you, and the kingdom of heaven is within you, and all of these other wonderful things that you've been told by all the sages, by all the prophets, by all the saints, and everybody else who has ascended to a certain station in life whereby they were actually divine instruments, okay, of God, functioning in a way that we were all intended. You were separated from your birthright, and you allowed somebody to tell you, just like I allowed them to tell me, that there was something wrong with the word magic, that there was something wrong with abracadabra, that any of this stuff that you're doing in terms of calling things into existence is because you're communicating with lower energies, or you're doing some crazy stuff. Never mind what the divine texts have told you. Every one of the religions, and even the other belief systems and philosophies that don't comprise the monotheistic religions, all have in their books, within and in between the lines, and specifically talk about the keys to manifesting and your personal power. That they all agree on, okay? That's interesting, right? Those things they all agree on. It's all the other stuff in the time-space dimension that got all distorted and crazy. But either way, regardless of what you believe it 100%. Walk around and start saying abracadabra, and know that as you are saying that, you are saying, I create with my words. And imagine yourself casting a spell, and the more and more you do it, the more a part of you it becomes, and to the point to one day you go to do that, boom. I can tell you, as a Reiki healer, I remember one time playing with my daughter. She has asthma issues, okay? Major asthma issues back then. And I remember dealing with her and teasing her because she came home from high school one day talking about how she was pushing through the classes, the physical education classes, and she was starting to feel better and her lungs were getting healthier. All right, her lungs were getting healthier, and the more she pushed, as long as she pushed past the difficulty, suddenly it felt like the lungs would open up, right? And I remember saying, see, Sophia, I told you, you are healed. And I did like that, and I was playing, but I said, you are healed. And I pointed to her, and she said, ouch, mommy, ouch. This is real. In that moment, when I said that, I was almost like fully engulfed in my superpowers. It was as if I thought that because it was a fantasy and it might be fake and I was doing something magician-like, that I could fully feel into it. And when I did like that, the fact that she felt that energy right there, I said, and this is what I did. Here's what we do because of our program. And we say, ooh, ooh. And then you start questioning. You start questioning. You don't believe your eyes the same way. Was it the Hebrew people who didn't believe when Moses parted the water, got them all the way over to the other side? They saw the miracle. Then they got over there to the other side and they started doubting stuff. This is what we do. This is how you've been programmed. On to number 5. The 5th thing that you need to make sure you do to optimize and alchemize your manifesting ability is you gotta really use that intuition. The reason why you got to use the intuition is because when you get into the vortex and you really start manifesting, the way that you know when opportunities are knocking and when to answer the phone or when to go to a certain place or who to listen out for or when you need to pick your phone up, when you have the ringer off, all of these things and what to pay attention to around you. Mine is quarters, for example. I found 3 quarters today. Okay? Not in the house, baby, out on the street. Okay? You got to be paying attention to how spirit connects with you. And when it happens, you got to listen to that inner voice and you got to hop on it. You can't waste time. You can't doubt. If you've asked for something and you're in the vortex and your vibration is high, those things will start to come at you from all different directions. You have to hop on it. And in order to be able to do that, you have to know how to get quiet inside. You got to know what it's like to have inner peace. You got to know what it's like to be able to meditate or to sit before you go to bed in the evening and slip off into theta state and let your mind begin to replay and revise the events of the day as you listen to your inner guidance, or as soon as you open your eyes in the morning after you thank God for the gloriousness of being able to participate in this world, what a joy it is to be alive. And then you ask, what am I going to create today? Okay, and then you start counting the things that you're grateful for in those moments of silence as you hold space for your body and respect and love yourself enough to not race yourself out of bed every morning in a race towards what? Towards the Matrix, towards Mr. Charlie, towards everything that's creating dissatisfaction and disintegration in your life. So you got to be able to get still and go within. I think there's a biblical verse that I remember from years ago that says something like, be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. You have got to be able to get quiet and tap into your inner verse. Okay, so these are the 5 critical things. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't given back yet, because I've given you a wealth of information, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and leave me a comment and let me know how you're going to make this principle work in your life. Are you going to do what you've been doing, which has gotten you to where you are, or are you going to do something different? Okay? But if you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you comment, subscribe, like, share this video with someone that you think it can make a difference to, regardless of if you feel they're in the same space that you are in or not. It's not your job to worry about the how. Remember, that is the universe's job. That is God's job. Your job is just the what and the do part. okay, or to be led part. So in this case, share this video with somebody else who you feel deserves a pick-me-up, or who you feel needs to recognize that they are a magician. You're with Tunisia Ali, a butterfly transformation.